Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. The Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, of the 12th chapter. Jesus said to his disciples, "Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell your possessions and give alms. Provide yourselves with purses that do not grow old, with a treasure in the heavens that does not fail, where no thief approaches and no moth destroys. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Let your loins be girded and your lamps burning, and be like men who are waiting for their master to come home from the marriage feast, so that they may open to him at once when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds awake when he comes. Truly I say to you, he will gird himself and have them sit at table, and he will come and serve them. If he comes in the second watch or in the third and finds them so, blessed are those servants. But know this, that if the householder had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have left his house to be broken into. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour." The Gospel of the Lord. Grace, peace, and much joy to you, people of God. Be ready to greet Jesus when he knocks. Jesus says that he's coming at an unexpected time. That's unfortunate. Because if I knew the day and the hour of his coming, then I could be ready. I have my life all squared away, a little bit like the parable we heard last week. The main character in that parable finally has his life all put together. He's got everything he needs. He's ready for years of leisure and rest. But that very night, death knocks on his door. And it seems that that kind of preparation wasn't really preparation after all. Jesus has told his disciples to pray for the coming of the kingdom. And today he tells them that it is the Father's good pleasure to give them the kingdom. That's the kingdom that springs up from the tiny implanted word, even though the cares of the world and the desire for riches keep trying to choke it like thorny weeds. But they cannot. I mean, for one thing, we cannot secure our lives with our possessions. We cannot be ready for whatever comes next by means of securing our lives with the things that we have in our control. We can be ready for some things, but not for whatever comes next. Especially when what comes next is the unexpected knock on the door. We need not be afraid, because we have received that same promise. We too are part of the Good Shepherd's little flock, who have been given a word of promise of an imperishable treasure, of a better country, a heavenly one, a city God has prepared for the shepherd's little flock. And so if we trust that promise, when we trust that promise, we need not be afraid of our possessions falling from our cold, dead hands. We need not let the cares of the world choke out our trust in this promise. The world is thought by many to be governed by chaotic chance. But if God really is the creator of all, and really cares about us, and really sent Christ to save us, then we need not fear, for all the things, the perishable things of this world are just that, perishable, impermanent. But God's promise is that there is something beyond that, something that you can, to use Jesus' metaphor, put in a purse that will not wear out. Not perhaps the metaphor I would use, but then I'm not inspired by the Holy Spirit. In any event, we need not be afraid of the vicissitudes of this life when we trust this promise. Just as Jesus' first words to his disciples in today's gospel are, "Fear not," so the Lord's first words to Abram in our first reading are, "Do not be afraid, fear not. I am," as we chanted in the psalm, "your shield." God is our shield, something we can trust in. But that's not easy. And Abram is the demonstration of that. Has God given him the promise because of his great faith? God says, "Don't be afraid, Abram. I'm your shield. Your reward will be very great." And Abram's response is, "Says you. You told me to leave the land of the Chaldeans and come to this land, and you would make me the father of a great nation. Through me, all the families of the world would be blessed, and you have not given me a thing. Eliezer of Damascus, a slave born in my house, is going to be my heir according to human custom." Oh yeah, and by the way, according to natural law, my wife and I are not going to have children at our age. What do you think about that, great promiser? But God doesn't say, "Okay, well, if that's how you feel about it, I'll go find somebody else." He says, "Come outside with me and look up at these stars." Not the stars that we see in San Diego with all kinds of artificial light all around us. The stars way out there, where there's no human light. The innumerable stars that you can see in the night sky. It's been called the sacrament of stars. It's not really a sacrament, of course, if you look at dogmatic theology, but it is a sign to be received by faith. And in that way, a sacrament. And Abram goes out and looks at the stars, and he believes. This is the first example in the Bible of what St. Paul and Martin Luther will call justification by faith. God does not give the promise to Abram because he has such great faith. God gives Abram the gift of faith to trust the promise. That's what faith is. With the great definition of faith in today's epistle. The assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Great verse, memorized by many. There's actually a lot going on in that verse because the word translated assurance is actually hypostasis in the Greek of the writer of Hebrews. I think it's Apollos. Other people think other things. Hypostasis is the underlying reality of something. Faith is the underlying reality of our hope. And conviction is the word elenkos, which means a rational argument, a demonstration, like in geometry, something that ends with QED. It is demonstrated. The demonstration of unseen things. So if faith as trust is the underlying reality of our hopes, the demonstration of these unseen, transcendent things, then we really need not be afraid. Then there really is something imperishable that no thief can steal, no moth can eat up, no concern of ours, worldly concern, can set it aside. No fear that leads us to try to secure our own lives can make it less real. And it's in that faith that we can be ready to greet Jesus when he knocks. In Revelation, the risen Jesus says, "Behold, I stand at the door and knock." The one who opens the door and lets me in, I will eat with him and he with me. Just as in this wonderful little scene from Luke 12, where those servants who are waiting for the master to come, even if it be in the middle of the night of doubt, in the middle of the night of despair, in the middle of the night of pain, in the middle of the night of fear, in the middle of the night of death. Those who are waiting for the Master in trust find that he comes in and sits them down and serves them. Jesus said to his disciples during his earthly walk, "I am among you as one who serves," and apparently that was no transient thing. This good shepherd serves his flock. He leads us to the green pastures. He restores our soul. And he brings us to the table where he serves us even now. Because the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom is not only at the last, but even now. As we wait in trust, the kingdom springs up in our lives. Sometimes in wonderful ways. Most times in my life, not so spectacularly. But when the kingdom is bearing fruit in our lives, that's a different kind of being ready for Jesus than the kind of being ready that I like to think of. Having everything all squared away and under control, and now I'm ready. I'll never be ready like that. But a simple life of prayer and work in a certain place with certain beloved people, this is a life of trust in the Lord. This is readiness for when he comes. It is waking up to this life. Makes us ready to greet him when he knocks. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.